We know among the things on some shopping lists for families, school uniforms. All new on Wake Up Central in a morning original, our Journey Taylor looks into the debate over whether uniforms help or harm.
Uniform shopping with my nephew.
Just a quick stop by Looking Good in Pine Bluff, one of the few locally owned stores in the state that still sells school uniform clothes.
I'm picking up like 5 shirts, 5 pair of pants, and that's gonna get them started for school. I love uniforms.
Leticia Barnes marking off her to-do list for her family before school starts. She says the inexpensive look is not only convenient for her pockets, but as a social worker, she thinks it's good for the school environment.
A level look around the entire school. You know, you don't have to worry about the bullying and different things.
Community meetings, I think
The debate over school uniforms has been a long one in Pine Bluff. Johnny Robinson recalls the year her school made the switch.
Chapel was the first to do it. We started wearing uniforms in '99. I was in 5th grade.
Robinson says the change meant the ritual of going back to school shopping and putting clothes on layaway was no more.
The main point that was sold to us was to decrease gang activity.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we were here, the second point was having to do with lower income families and just making it fair because certain kids were getting picked on.
While many claim that uniforms help level the playing field, Robinson points out that wasn't necessarily the case.
What do you mean leveling the playing field? When it comes to education, you still have different type of test scores. The household that people come from is a very huge factor, what kids are going through in their personal life. Uniforms can't solve those types of things.
It's a decades-old argument that has not only financial implications, but emotional as well.
There are pros and cons.
Howard Turney is a social work professor at UA Little Rock. He says while school uniforms can help make everyone appear the same, strict uniform rules can still make some kids feel self-conscious among their peers, especially during a time when many kids are seeing changes with their bodies.
They're growing and they're uncomfortable with their appearance, so it's important for them to feel comfortable in the learning environment.
Turney adds that the discussion and decision over wearing uniforms should always consider the community's long-term impact. Things like looking at the culture of a school and the socialization among the children.
If you just make an edict that all children have to wear uniforms without including the parents and the children in the discussion, I think that's where you're going to find the most amount of conflict.
But for some parents, the decision to wear uniforms is simple.
Yeah, I'm accustomed to it now.
Years of tradition already in place just feels like something to mark off your checklist before the first school bell rings.
Mid-September, you know, I might pick up a few more items and get them started, and hey, we ready for school.
Now that's enthusiasm for school. Don't you love a mom like that? Journey, this is actually a debate, and you don't think it would be. You think uniforms? Well, yes or no. But really, there are good points brought up here in that for the kids who maybe don't like how they feel or look in them.
Yes.
That's something to take into consideration.
Yeah, we heard from Howard Turney. He says there are pros and cons. You have the kids who want to have that freedom of expression, want to be able to put on different clothes, but of course some of the schools would like to have everybody focus in the same uniform so we can just focus on the thing at the task at hand, which is their education. But some parents, like you saw, Miss Leticia said, hey, listen, I just want to get my 5 pants, my 5 shirts. When winter comes around, I'm going to buy a jacket and call it a day. So you hear from both sides on this.
Yes, and on the later years, especially like if you're talking junior high or high school, that's when the individuality emerges.
It really wants to come out.
So it's a really good argument on both sides. Thank you for that.
Of course.